Peace, peace. As the sun manifests itself this morning, I want to share with y'all this morning a simple but basic element of human intuition. Most people try to find the right answer, but in the law of polarity, you want to do just the opposite. See, the reason why most people can't understand the reality of God is because their whole life they've been asking the wrong questions. You want to ask the right questions. The right question is, who is that mystery God? Where is that mystery God? What is that mystery God? When did that mystery God begin? How does that mystery God even exist? You see, when you look at it from the perspective that you already know the answer, and you observe the universe itself, you don't want to go with the unnatural, that which is contrary to the universal order of things. You don't want to try to step outside your reality and be like, oh, I wonder if leprechauns exist. Do unicorns exist? Does Santa Claus exist? Is there a God somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars? Is there a devil under the ground? Are there little angels flying on top of those clouds? See, that's the spooky stuff. You took the premise, you took and started with the wrong premise. You started from a position of unbelief in what you already know. And once you injected the unknown to the known, you came out spooky. Get your mind out that spooky stuff. Get away from organized religions. Stop believing there's a contradiction between spirituality and science. Every spiritual system is a scientific system. Every science of life is rooted in spirituality. So we say, study the spiritual sciences of life, death, because the law of polarity teaches us you can't have a positive without a negative. You can't have a God without a devil, a man without a woman, rich without poor, life without death, young without old. You see how the universe operates? Keep it real. The struggle continues. Peace, peace, family. I'm your brother in the struggle, brother minister Alif. And today we're going to share with you some information on self-economics. Now, it's so much here. I mean, let me just give y'all the short version. One, for those of you that may not be aware of it, Jews in the United States of America have an option. That option is they have the country of Israel in the east. So when Jews that's born and raised in the United States, say their mother and father and grandparents and great-grandparents were all Jews in the United States of America, they could get on an airplane, fly to the country of Israel, and get with the Israeli people and basically qualify to get what they call dual citizenship. By dual citizenship, I'm not getting into the politics of it. You know, politics isn't everything, but basically, politically, they may argue they're not true American citizens. Jews in this country has been persecuted. In early America, they wouldn't even pick up Jewish trash. So they, instead of crying and worrying about it, they took and looked at it as like, okay, they ain't gonna pick up our trash. They developed a sanitation corporation. In 2023, every major city in the United States has trash trucks that come pick up your trash. That goes back to the Jews. Now, I mean, shoe repair stores. Now, I mean, when I was growing up as a child, one of my first businesses before the age of 12 was my father helped me make a shoe shine kit. And he invested in me by buying the shoe polish, the brush, the rags and all that stuff, the dye, whatever. And I don't know how much that cost. This was back in like the 70s. I mean, somewhere around there. But that little shoe shine kit allowed me, instead of having to beg and ask for money or wait for an allowance, to wait for income, I was able to take and go down on the Ave. You know what I mean? And I just be like, shoe shine, shoe shine, shoe shine. You know what I mean? And most people ignore me. But there was never a day that I did not make money. Never. I mean, it could have been. That shouldn't have been a deterrent. Sometimes you ain't gonna make money when you first start your own business. But what I was able to do was I would take and shine them shoes. And I noticed that when I shine the shoes real good, and I was a good listener to the gentlemen or the women whose shoes I was shining, I mean, they gave a bigger tip. Because they look at, oh, it's a good kid. I mean, my teeth was real clean, bright. I mean, neat, clean. I kept myself nice and clean. I mean, I was always respectful of my elders and all the manners and positive things that went a long way in that little small business. So, I was able to make money shining shoes. And then when winter would come around, I would still make money by shoveling snow. I didn't shovel the snow and just get paid. I did excellent extra stuff. I mean, like if I shoveled like the lady down the street, I know she lived there by herself, the elderly lady. So I miss, next people that my sister's family know, when we used to live on 22nd in Indiana, our next door neighbor was an elderly lady that lived by herself named Miss Jones. And I remember listening to my mom's playing music, she playing the oldies, and I heard the song, Me and Mrs. Jones. And I was like, that's Miss Jones. It's like, no, that's just a song with the same name. But I used to shovel Miss Jones' snow. And she had a little, like a tire with the plant growing out of it, whatever, and the snow would be on her plant. I would not just shovel. The first time I do, I'd come out and shake all the snow off her plants. And then I would shovel her snow and I mean, put the salt down, make sure she don't slip when she come out. So when she came out the house and went to her car, she had such a safe pathway. She appreciated. So, I don't remember how much I used to charge back then, but she would not only pay me, she would give me a hefty tip. You know what I mean? And that entrepreneurial spirit, I don't care if you're selling lemonade, cutting grass, painting, whatever you do, washing cars, whatever. Now, I mean, it's no shame in hard work. I mean, a lot of people in this day and time like, I ain't doing that. I ain't working at McDonald's. I ain't working at Walmart. I ain't working at the gas. Listen, I will work anywhere. You know what I mean? As long as you give me a decent pay. You're not going to pay me what I want, but, something's better than nothing. You know what I mean? And because I know I'm going to take that little seed money and take it to that next level. You know what I mean? Brothers and sisters in prison, they make slave wages. You know what I mean? Like they might get 19, 25 cents an hour. But they take them little nickels, dimes, and pennies and they budget it out. People like, oh, you go to jail, you don't have no bills. No, you have more bills in there than you do out here. You don't realize you gotta pay for your TV to come on in there. You gotta pay to go. When you go to commissary, stuff is way more expensive. It's no free health care in prison like people think. I mean, it's like I'm just using something hypothetically. Say you had the flu or something of that nature there, and you needed some cold tablets. You're only making, say, 20 cents an hour or whatever. When you go to sick call, you got to sign up, fill out a medical form to go to sick call. All right, so you got to make an appointment, if you will. When they call you, they're going to charge you a sick call fee. All right. When they give you, say you had a filthy mattress, whatever, you got dandruff or something like that, you in a hole. Is a bad environment. Now, I mean, you need something for a rash or something like that there because somebody threw poop all on the walls or whatever. You leaned on the wall, touched the wall. Now you got a rash on your arm. You need something to kill the germs and bacteria and the fungus or whatever. That thing is, you got to pay for that medicine. You got to pay for that shampoo. You got to pay for those things. Now, say that shampoo costs $3. Not bad. But if you're only making 24 cents an hour, and that costs $3, do the math. 25, say 25 cents, that's like 25, 50, that's $1. That's 4 hours of work. It costs $3. So you got like, okay, I got to do 12 hours of work. I got to work for 2 days to get one bottle of shampoo. If you work at McDonald's, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a registered nurse, or help, you don't pay that type of money for your health care out here. Now, I mean, so, studying the life-giving teachers of Elijah Muhammad taught us a lot of sciences. I mean, whether you're above ground, underground, I'm not getting into all the politics. I'm just simply saying you want to be conscious of your options. Now, I mean, someone in the United States of America that's on welfare, that's getting Social Security, SSDI, a pension, you got savings, you was hustling your whole life, whatever seed money you have over here, whatever consistent little checks you got coming in. Now, I mean, you want to be aware that there are over 10 different African countries, like say Nigeria, Zambia, or South Africa, for example. You can get dual citizenship with the motherland, and the cost of living is cheaper over there. You still get your money from over here, but now you got direct deposit, so that money's coming right up in your bank account while you're physically living in Africa. Or you're living physically in the United States, but you're doing business over here in Africa. You're over here in the United States, but you're going to Africa and you're importing and exporting raw honey. A big giant bag of rice costs $1. I mean, you're getting pure African bee honey. I mean, grade A honey, dirt cheap. So you're able to cut out the middlemen and middle women and middle corporations, if you will. Know what I mean? So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he gave us what he titled A Sound Economic Plan, Part 1. And I just want to read just something real brief from here. He said, quote, "The economic plight of the black people of this land has so long been neglected by so-called leaders that even our own people have forgotten its basic importance. Our economic position remains at the bottom of the ladder because of this ineffective leadership and because so many of our people ignore the basic rules of a healthy economic life. We fail to develop self-leadership in economics." That's the key right there, family. We fail to deliver, I'm going to read a quote for quote, word for word. We fail to develop self-leadership in economics. We fail to develop, let me underline it for you so you can see this. So I don't want you thinking that I just made this up. Okay. Starting right here where my finger's at. I'm going to put my finger on there. We. You see it? We fail to develop, look at the wording, self-leadership in economics. Self-leadership in economics. You know what I mean? Now, that's critical. That's the key. Self-leadership in economics. You know what I mean? I remember when I came home from the Belly of the Beast, the good thing that I had in my favor was while I was in the Belly of the Beast, I had what the messenger calls and message to the black men in America. He said, get business minded. So there never was a time in any circumstance where I was looking for a mystery God to bring me food. I understood the importance of self-economics. You know what I mean? Of being an entrepreneur. That was instilled in me through survival because I grew up with a mother on welfare with 3 sisters, and I'm the only male of the family. I'm the only man of the house, if you will. So it's a thing where, mom is stressed out because she don't have food for the 4 children and herself. She can't pay the gas bill, electric bill, what have you. Now, I mean, I don't know if mothers and fathers understand what that does psychologically to a young man, but it makes you like, damn, you quickly realize, even though my mom and them were saying we was Baptists, Jesus ain't bring us nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my aunt was in the Nation of Islam. Fruit ain't bring us nothing. The nation ain't give us no food. The Hebrews ain't, my mom at one time used to date a Hebrew Israelite. I mean, she had the nose ring and she was vegan and, burning her incense, had her dreadlocks, all that stuff. Now, I mean, so I seen the good and bad sides of organized religions. Now, I mean, it's more good than bad. Now, I mean, I give all of them that credit. Now, I mean, I'm me personally, I don't care what negative stuff people in this day and time, YouTubers, want to say about Father Divine or whatever. As a child, I remember in Philadelphia, this was the only man that told me and all of my friends, all of them, every last one of us, when we came in his place and we saw, as far as our little eyes could see, tables and tables and tables of food, nothing but food, meats and fruits and vegetables and cakes and pies and cookies galore. And his thing was like, y'all eat as much as y'all want. But like, what? We ain't got to pay for it? You ain't got to pay for nothing in here. You just go in there and enjoy yourself. God bless you. It's like, God bless you. You know what I mean? He answered our prayers. See what I'm saying? It was no mystery God that was answering our prayers. Now, I mean, I appreciate, I really remember that as a child, that stuck with me. Now, I mean, like the Christian preacher across the street used to get on my nerves. Me and him was like rivalries because, this is when we was living down we was living at 16th and Westmoreland next door to the boys' home right there on the corner of 16th and Westmoreland. And we had a little apartment, 2nd-story apartment upstairs. But across the street was the Jesus Saved Church. And those that grew up in North Philadelphia back in this was like I would say like the late 70s, somewhere around there. Across the street from my house was the doctor, what we call the doctor's office. It wasn't the doctor's office. It was a house with a gate that had students that was from college living off campus studying to become doctors. So they was all white. Every last one of them was white. And the reason I remember them is because they treated us so kindly. I don't even know their names. I don't even know who these white people was. But these white people used to take and literally see us in our little poverty games or whatever. We got the cut broomstick and the cut tennis ball playing halfies. And now, I mean, the girls drawing on the street, they playing hopscotch and double dutch and jacks. Now, I mean, whatever. Now, I mean, and they told us, it's like, listen, we want to show y'all something. Y'all can utilize. They took us to the doctor's house because we used to play sports in the street, and we always had to stop because a car was coming. Now, I mean, and they told us, they was like, listen, let's show y'all something. They took us into we called the doctor's house back then. Beautiful, beautiful house. Now, I mean, big, giant, beautiful house. Now, I mean, we in apartments, so I never seen nothing like this. Their living room was like 8 apartments across the street. But when we came in there, they had what they call a game room. And in the game room, they had a pool table, ping pong, all these board games, Monopoly, whatever. Now, I mean, so we like, yo, they rich. I mean, and they told us, they said, listen, our front door is never locked. We don't lock the door. We don't use keys. Anytime y'all want to come play, y'all could come in here and just play. I mean, y'all, you ain't got to ask. Just come in and play. We keep, we got a little refrigerator. We keep snacks in there. You get cookies, some juice, some milk, sodas, whatever y'all want, water, whatever. You know what I mean? So here we got free snacks, free games, this, that, and the other. Wasn't much. But for some poor kids in North Philly, we really appreciated that. You know what I mean? You know, like I said, me and that minister across the street, we didn't get along because he was right and I was wrong. I was a bad little boy. He was a sincere, hardworking preacher in the hood. You know what I mean? And the problem he had with me was around one real subject. He had the best grass in that part of North Philly. See, where we lived at, we had no grass. You know what I mean? I lived in a apartment, so we didn't even have a backyard. Now I think it just dawned on me. I'd never been in the yard. We didn't even have a backyard. We may have had we probably did have a concrete backyard, but the landlord, Mr. Henry, and his wife, two elders, they lived on the first floor, so they only had access to the backyard. We lived on the second floor, and our closest friends, my childhood girlfriend, Stephanie Collier, and them, Robert Boo Boo, and all of Miss Pat, that mom was Miss Pat, Miss Patricia, they lived on the third floor. So the third floor couldn't have access to the yard. The second floor couldn't have, only the first floor, Mr. Henry and his wife had access to the backyard. So growing up, I personally never in my life seen the backyard, ever. So here you got this across the street, the doctor's yard, a humongous backyard, giant trees in the yard, whatever. So we over there playing football in their yard. We playing pool and ping pong or whatever. Know what I mean? We getting free. Anytime you're hungry, you go over there, get a snack. I appreciated them doctors. Know what I mean? And the preacher at Jesus Saved Church, and it was like Jesus, the name going down, and the word saves. I guess he had a Jesus and SAVES going across somewhere like that. I remember it was across. It said Jesus Saves, though. You know what I mean? And the grass was like, I would say they had what they call perfect. Like you wouldn't mind getting tackled in that grass because it's like cushion for a kid. It's like, yo, we love that grass. But we tearing the man grass up. We tearing the church grass. Now we running on the joint, you know what I mean? Playing football, whatever. So we messing the lawn up. But we ain't had no place to play. Back then they didn't have playgrounds and all that stuff. This is like the 70s, late 70s, somewhere around there. You know what I mean? So he used to always run us off his property. And the thing that I like, that I do appreciate with him was he had some type of contract with the city where they would deliver in the summertime. The truck would pull up at his church, and they would unload boxes and boxes and crates of cold milk and orange juice and lunch trays. You know what I mean? And what he would do is he had a little thing that I didn't like. His thing was like, instead of giving us the free lunch, we had to go to Bible study first. Then we get the free lunch. If you didn't come to Bible study, he wasn't giving no free lunch. You know what I mean? Which was, now that I think about it, actually was illegal back then. But, he had good intentions. His intention was to get us to get some positive food, mental food, spiritual food of the soul and heart before he give us some physical food. I get it. I understand it. You know what I mean? I didn't really agree with it, but I definitely agree with it as a child. But I went to Bible study so I could get my free lunch. You know what I mean? But I ain't know that the Bible taught that forced faith was no faith. You know what But he, get the little sandwiches. Back then, it was like either cheese on white bread, probably pork bologna. I don't even know what kind of lunch meat it was, but we ate all that crap. And I mean, we get a peach. Sometimes you get a little pack of cookies, whatever the case may be. But government free lunches. Now I mean, for ghetto kids without the finances, we appreciated that. Now I mean, and growing up under those type of circumstances, you learn how to hustle. You learn how to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. You learn how to answer your own prayers. I mean, as the message teaches us, you have to become economically self-independent. You have to learn how to do for yourself. I mean, that's an important element. And unfortunately, we're in the age of social media. So it's like right now, as the message saying, and message to the black men in America, there's entirely too much little trust amongst black people. Sad to say, there's a lot of controversy going on with brothers and sisters coming together to try to do a new black Wall Street, whatever. And I on the surface, I see all of the controversy and division, but my gut, my nature lets me know the devil is always behind that stuff. Divide and conquer, COINTELPRO. Like, we're not going to let black people come together and invest their monies and start a new black Wall Street where they're harnessing their $1 trillion a year. You crazy? You think the powers that be just gonna let black people come on YouTube and Instagram and yeah, let's get together, let's build our own nation, and they're like, nah, not here, you're not. I mean, not without they're not going to burn your Wall Street down physically. They're going to stress y'all out and burn y'all down psychologically, spiritually, morally, politically, financially. That's how they do it. They be like, oh no, we gonna sick the technology on y'all. I mean, and it's not that you won't be successful, but your success is going to lead to your failure. So the devil comes with tricks that it's just like there's no way to anticipate them. Those black devils is worse than the white devils because they 7 times worse. They physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, soulfully, selfily, and willfully just other than their own selves. So they become your worst critics, your worst enemy. So that's all in it. You got to have a thick skin. You got to be able to like understand when the struggle. Um, you know, I'm not naive into thinking like black leaders is going to do some magical, perfect stuff. I don't believe in the romanticized interpretations of ancient Egypt and all that spooky stuff. Know what I mean? It's like, nah, before the Romans, before the Greeks, Egyptians or people of ancient Kemet had problems. We had problems in Nubia. We had before the white man was made, we were already divided amongst 13 different tribes. We had 12 tribes of Shabazz for over 66 trillion years. That's a long, that's this, the survival of the fittest. That's just how Mother Nature operates. So it's never going to be easy. And a lot of times we think stuff is just going to be given to us wrapped up with the bow tie on it. It's like, oh, look at my brand new car. It's just outside waiting for me. Nah, you're going to have to work. You got, car notes. You got to save up and pay for the car. You have to get a used car. You got the car, but now you got to get the insurance. You got to get your inspections, the gas money. You got to get the car fixed, whatever. Things happen. And like the Honorable Markham Josiah Garvey explained to us a long time ago, he explained, black people, we want the ocean without the waves. I mean, we think that our freedom is going to be free. Nah, it's a price to be paid. So, those of you that's going through hardships, investors, leaders, whatever, stay the course. Just stay positive. Keep, it's like get up and keep on trying to do good for our people. Now, I mean, it gets greater later. The struggle continues. Now, I mean, down the line, you're going to realize how much the opposition was intentionally sabotaging stuff. Now, I mean, you'd be like, oh, man, that cute girl that I met the whole time, she was a plant. Oh, that nice guy I met the whole time, he was a plant. Oh, the good brother really was working for the devil. Oh, that's why that car kept coming around the block going. I was wondering, like, the hell this car? Oh, these jokers was listening. They had bugs in my house. Oh, they had my whole iPhone. Oh, they was all on my channel, Oh, the whole time YouTube was manipulating the algorithm to sabotage these videos. That's all in it. I mean, don't take it personal. I mean, it's strictly business. Now, I mean, it's like you can't be God without confronting the devil. That's just I mean, whenever law sends his blessing, Satan going to throw his stumbling block out there. That's in it. Now, I mean, so I get it. Now, I mean, and I know that, it's we're going to always have problems when we trying to do right and do good and resurrect the masses of our people. It's going to be hard. Now, I mean, the master teachers, we didn't get here overnight. It was a process. It was a hard and long suffrage of our people. Now, I mean, but we got to be up to the task. We got to stay focused. Now, I mean, and that's why I always tell people it gets greater later. Now, I mean, whether we see the greater right now, that's debatable. But when you're conscious of the law of polarity, as our ancestors called it. Now, I mean, there's good and evil, the yin and the yang, the I Ching, the I Fei, the polar opposites, the 5%, the 10%, the proton, the electron, the darkness, the light. That's all in it. And I mean, you just gotta struggle to maintain that mayat, that freedom, justice, equality, your Islam, your faith, your iman, that deen, that universal balance. That's what it's all about. Now, I mean, trying to make sure that your good outweighs your bad. Now, I mean, and as the messenger put us, looking at it where the glass is not half empty, the glass is half full. You got to stay optimistic. 17 Ways to Play Islamic Culture lesson by Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us, do not look on the bad side of things. There's always a good side. It's better to take that side. So just keep looking at the good side. Now, I mean, don't worry about the player haters. Don't worry about if you for Farrakhan, against Farrakhan. If you like the nation, hate the nation. If you believe in Elijah Muhammad, don't believe in Elijah Muhammad. All this stuff is in it. I mean, because at the end of the day, you must become a leader in self-economics. At the end of the day, that's the one thing that's going to dawn on you. Now that should not stop you from, as the Bible puts it in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, you should invest in 7 things, actually 8 different things. You should diversify your portfolio. You should be conscious of the fact that while I'm talking to y'all, the lights could go off. While I talk to y'all, I could have a heart attack and die, never finish. Things happen. It's the world we live in. We live in a world of dichotomies, a world of contradictions. They exist. They're going to continue to. They're always going to exist. Now, I mean, don't worry about being different. Don't worry about being the weirdo, as they call it. I mean, stay true to yourself. Now, I mean, and understand that when you have that type of mentality, you're not going to be looking outside of yourself. You're going to be able to generate the answers for yourself. You see, there's no mystery God that's going to come bring you no food. There's no mystery God that's going to pay any bills. There's no magical prayer that's God going to drop a bag of money on you. Now, I mean, but you can take and build the whole from the fraction. That's the power you already possess. Think about it. The struggle continues. And as I always warn, only the messenger's message can guide you through this age of mess. One love. The struggle continues. Peace, family. Peace, peace. Coming to y'all with this little watermelon video real quick. Just let y'all know we got this thing from an organic farm, and the price I love, $5 for this whole watermelon that has seeds. You don't know, family. In this day of genetic engineering, genetically engineered seeds and all types of grafted things, you know what I mean? Most hybrid or naturally grafted or even man-made grafted fruits and vegetables are still cool to eat. But it was hard finding a regular watermelon that still had seeds. Everything seedless watermelon. So we finally got one with some seeds. Let's see these 2 seeds inside the watermelon. Hold on, let me cut this. Will you look at that? That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. You see that black seed? You know how many thousands of fruits are on the planet Earth? The god Imhotep, the black man of ancient Kemet, Black Egypt, he knew how to manually graft fruits and vegetables and flowers, what have you, the science of botany. But you see, there says 2 seeds in here. White seed, black seed. This is historically, scientifically, in antiquity, this was a gourd seed. This is really, notice this seed looked like the seed from a cucumber. That's a cucumber seed. Let me see something for a minute. Now here's a cucumber. Let's look at this cucumber seed. Now here's the cucumber seed. And here's the watermelon seed. Watermelon seed, cucumber seed. Watermelon seed looks just like the cucumber seed because it's grafted from the cucumber. Cucumber, I don't have a gourd, but a gourd is basically a melon. But you have the hybrid where most fruits have 1 seed. Notice apple seeds just got 1 seed. Bananas just got 1 seed in the center. That's how you eat that banana. You notice it just have 1 seed. Lemons and limes have 1 seed. Oranges just got an orange seed in there. You see? A mango just got 1 big seed in there. A strawberry don't have no seeds in it, but the seed is on the outside. But it's just 1 strawberry seed on the outside. But this watermelon has 2 types of seed. A black seed and a white seed. Now, we went to, where did we go? We went to Philadelphia the other day. And down Penn's Landing, when our African brothers had fresh watermelon juice out there. When I mean fresh, he literally cut the watermelon with the seeds in front of you, put the melon and the seeds in a blender. We got some limes right here. But he put it in a blender and made into watermelon juice. And you talking about, and it was like 90 something degrees in Philadelphia. But you talking about something that had you hydrated, know what I mean? You know, unlike Gatorade in this day and time, this was the natural electrolytes. You know what I mean? The natural water, the natural stimulants for the organs and the brain, you know what I mean? To get everything staying balanced, working at its optimal efficiency. So I'm thankful for this little watermelon. We're going to take and just slice this up. Reason we had this here, we're going to send my mother-in-law some, my sister-in-law some, and we're going to put some in the bowl, and I probably throw some in the freezer that's left over. You just take that out for like 10, 15 minutes. Eat that nice cold crisp watermelon. You juice it up and drink it. It's better to eat it. You know what I mean? You know, the fresh fruit is better than juices. You know what I mean? The messenger teaches us our digestive systems were not designed to drink a bunch of juice. You know what I mean? Because that's skipping over the chewing and the digesting and the brain-body connection. You know, you want Mother Nature to do her thing her way. We always think we're smarter than Mother Nature, but we're not. Respect Big Mama or your umi. You know what I mean? So for now, we're going to close with the greeting words of peace. Salam Allah. But remember, that cucumber seed, that watermelon seed, grafted over 4,000 years ago in ancient Kemet, Black Egypt. And this is why the so-called slaves used to naturally be attracted to eating that watermelon. And the racist people used to look at, look, these blacks, they love watermelon. Y'all love pork. Stereotypes, gots to go. The struggle continues. Peace. This is just a postscript. This is the pure limes. You take this lime, put this lime juice, I put them inside these bottles and just sit one in the freezer, one in the refrigerator. And we use that lime juice for anything, guacamole. You could put it in your rice. You could spritz your solids, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's always good to have some nice, fresh lime juice in your food. Peace. So the lime juice is done, fam. Now, I want you to know, I usually would take the strainer and strain this. However, since it's being used for cooking, I'm not straining it. I just put a little funnel in here. Let me just keep it straight so I won't spill it all over the place. Okay. Now, the funnel just gonna send it right down in there. Actually, should have used a bigger funnel. I'm gonna get a bigger one. Hold up. Okay, so we got the bigger one on here, make it easier to go in. Okay. So, that's one line. And I usually just take a permanent dollar store marker or something and mark the date on this, because lime juice will ferment. And so my recommendation, use it within like a week. You put some in the freezer, you good, you know what I mean? Just don't thaw it out and then put it back in the freezer. Just when you're going to use it, take it out the freezer. In the wintertime, you got fresh lime juice. Just got the book, Law Institute. I just ordered that Black Arabia. By the scholar and historian at FOI, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD. That's the piece this apart, you know what I mean? We're taking through a little book review on this. I'm not taking a piece of the part, but to God, I know he ain't gonna come with nothing but the fire and the facts.